I'm Amber Paxton with the Financial Empowerment Center, and you're watching Money Power. Money Power will help you learn ways to get money, save money, and manage money. The show is part of the City of Lansing's Financial Empowerment Center, a partnership between the city and Capital Area Community Services. The Financial Empowerment Center offers free one-on-one financial counseling to Lansing residents. Call 211 today to schedule your free appointment. It's safe, confidential, and can help you pay off debt, improve your credit score, access safe and affordable bank products, and save for the future. The Lansing Financial Empowerment Center is made possible by a grant from the Cities for Financial Empowerment Fund, a program of Bloomberg Philanthropy's Mayor's Project.
Hi, my name is Jose Yanez. I'm the owner of Full Circle Financial Planning in beautiful Old Town Lansing. Full Circle Financial Planning is a full-service financial service firm that helps individuals when it comes to investing, saving, and insurance. Absolutely, you should have an emergency fund before investing. What I typically advise is that if you are going to start saving, let's look at what we have to save with, and if you haven't started an emergency fund, let's look at how we can break that money into saving, but also creating the emergency fund. And the reason being is because, let's say the car breaks down or the water heater goes out, we don't want to have to stop our savings plan in order to pay for that. So it's nice to be able to take care of both at the same time. Defined, investing is using your capital with the intention of obtaining something later down the line. So we invest in a home with the intention of later down the line being able to sell it for more than we originally bought it for. And the same goes with investing for retirement. We start putting money away today, or whether it's saving for a home, a college fund for your kids, we put the money to work today for some time later down the line. What we're doing is delaying instant gratification. We're delaying buying that extra purse or that extra set of shoes for something down the line, something that we know will, be necessary and is important. The reason we invest is to reach our goals. So for example, I like to use the example of 30 years from now, $1 million. What do we need to put away to have that amount so we can live off in retirement? And I usually give 3 scenarios. The first one I like to call the mattress method. That's saying, you're gonna just put your money under your mattress, no growth, and let's say you make $50,000. So to save $1 million in 30 years, it would take you around $33,333. So if you make $50,000, can you do that? Probably not. Okay, the next one is, let's say you're a conservative investor and let's say we can get a 3% rate of return, okay? To get 3% rate of return, we'd be looking at about $20,400. So if you make $50,000, $20,400, it's a little easier, but you have to pinch your pennies. But let's say you could take on some risk. Again, you have 30 years to save. If we put $10,200 away, we would have $1 million at 7% rate of return in 30 years. So let me ask you a question. If you're making $40,000, $50,000, could you possibly do that? It might be a little bit easier. So again, that's why we use investing, to reach our goals. Putting the money away alone, we won't be able to do it, but if we use interest rates and investments, it helps us attain what we're investing for. Traditionally, most people invest in what are called asset classes, and there's 3 main ones. There's cash, there's bonds, and there's stocks. With each one, there's a risk return, okay? So with cash, there's not very much risk in there. That's basically, putting your money in a CD, somewhere very conservative. You know that the money you put in there, when you need it, the principal will be there with very little interest on there. So it's a low risk, low reward type of investment. The next asset class would be bonds. And I like to use the example of, full circle financial planning when I do these in my seminars. So you're the investor and I'm full circle financial planning. I want to grow my business. So what I would do is say, I'm going to issue a bond. So I'm going to, you're going to give me your money and I'm going to pay you out semi-annually over a certain period of time. And it's going to be based on, an interest rate. So you're loaning me your money, and then with the intention of later down the line, I'm going to give you back initially what you gave me plus some interest. So that's typically how older investors invest. If you're looking for fixed income with the least amount of risk, that's the way that you would invest. Lastly, let's talk about stocks. Let's take full circle financial planning as an example, okay? We talked about bonds and how, you'd lend me money and then I'd pay you back at a certain period of time. Let's say I want to grow my business, I want to have a new building, but I don't have the money to necessarily do that. What I would do is go to you as the investor and say, I want to grow. If you invest with me, I'll give you a share of my earnings. So as I grow, as I prosper, you prosper as well. And that's what typically happens with stocks. So when you buy an Apple stock, the intention is, I believe in this company, I'm going to buy it now with the intention of it being worth more than I invested in the beginning. Let's say you leave the house, okay, and you don't know what the weather's going to be. So you put suntan lotion and an umbrella in the car because we never know what's going to happen. It might be sunny or it might be rainy. So that's kind of an example of diversifying. But when it comes to investing, what you're doing is you're limiting your risk. So instead of investing in one particular company, what you're doing is spreading it out amongst many different companies. Some that might be doing well at one time, others that are kind of just, they're staying steady, and some that are not doing as well. But because you're not invested in one particular stock and you have a basket of many different stocks, you're diversified, it kind of limits the risk that you have. One of the most important things that I can say about financial planning and investing is you really want to start early. Going back to that slide about $1 million in 30 years, there's never really a good time, even if you're 10 years out from whatever your goal is or you're close to retirement. Starting to put something away is important, but using time on your side is the most important thing, because you've seen it in the stock market or when you watch the news, the market goes like that. But over time, it tends to do pretty well. My other advice would be to have a financial plan. You don't build a home without having the blueprint. So create the plan, know what you're looking to save for, whether it is saving for a home, saving for a child's college, or retirement. You want to sit down with someone and really kind of look at what are we trying to reach here.
Hi, I'm Denise Kaiser. I'm the Executive Director with the Center for Financial Health, located downtown Lansing. The Center for Financial Health is a HUD and MSHA-approved housing counseling agency that provides tools and information through counseling and education to renters, home buyers, homeowners, and seniors. Our trained counselors are certified nationally and provide those tools and resources for individuals and families to make wise, timely, responsible, informative decisions about how they are housed. More people than you might realize may need affordable housing. The economic expansion of the 1990s, the housing crisis that occurred mid-2000s, which resulted in many homeowners, millions of homeowners in fact, losing their homes through foreclosure, has created a greater need for affordable housing, and we now have more renters than ever. Generally, housing affordability is defined as a household paying no more than 30% of their gross monthly income for housing expenses. For families or individuals who are paying more than 30% of their gross monthly income for housing expenses, they may find themselves financially constrained and unable to pay for basic needs such as food, clothing, transportation, or medical care. Of course, housing affordability is relative to each individual or family's financial situation, so we strongly recommend that every individual or family prepare a complete budget of all of their expenses, including their proposed housing expenses, prior to shopping for a new rental unit. If you've never rented before, here's where you start. Landlords are much like mortgage lenders, so be prepared to complete a rental application, which will likely require you to authorize that landlord to pull and review your credit report. You'll also need to prove your income and possibly your assets, so have a recent pay stub and a recent bank statement available to provide to your landlord. You should also know what's in your credit report before you allow someone else, a third party, to review it. So be prepared to provide explanations if you know that you're going to have some challenges popping up in your credit report, such as late payments, open collections, a low credit score, or other items that might prevent you from renting a rental unit. Prepare an explanation ahead of time and talk to the landlord before they pull your credit and let them know that there might be issues you'd like to talk with them to resolve. Rent is something that we don't often think about when cutting our costs in our budget. But in fact, sometimes it is possible to negotiate rent rates with your landlord, even if you've been in your rental unit for some time, if your lease is up for renewal, or if you're shopping for a new apartment unit. Here's 5 tips on how you can prepare to negotiate with your landlord. First, offer to your landlord to pay your rent several months in advance. If you can come up and pay for 2, 3, or 6 months worth of rent in advance, you may be able to use that to leverage some savings in your rent price. Secondly, offer to sign a longer lease. Landlords know that it costs money to find new tenants or to repair the unit when old tenants leave. If they know that you're going to be in this unit for longer than the previous occupant, they may be willing to offer some savings on your rent price to offset the cost that they would incur finding a new tenant in 6 months or maybe even 12 months. 3, research the rental market in your area. Use some online tools such as rentermeter.com. Talk to other occupants of the property that you're looking to rent from. See what they're paying in rent. If you know that they're paying a lower lease amount than what the landlord is offering you, you may be able to take that back and negotiate with the landlord. 4, show your assets. If you earn a higher income for your area, if you have a high level of savings, those are called compensating factors. Earning a great credit rating is hard work, and landlords know that. If you have some extra money in savings for reserves to use in case of an illness or an emergency cost that you have to incur, landlords will know that you have the ability to make your rent payment on time, no matter if you have an illness or an emergency. 5, look for vacant units. Landlords need their properties to be rented out because without collecting rental income, they're paying for a lot of the overhead of ownership, such as utilities, property taxes, and possibly even a mortgage. So if you know a property has been vacant for some time, use that as leverage. Talk to the landlord, let them know that you're eager to rent it out, but ask for a savings in rent price. As you're looking for an affordable housing unit, keep these tips and warnings in mind. First, be prepared with the research necessary. Know what rental rates are going for in your market. Secondly, be prepared to walk away from a bad deal. Thirdly, watch for short lease opportunities where the landlord might be able to raise the rent price just after a few months of occupancy. And lastly, be aware of rent-to-own, lease-to-purchase, or even land contract opportunities. In these scenarios, landlords are most likely going to ask for a larger down payment, more so than what would be required in just a rental situation. And sometimes in these circumstances, landlords are actually looking to pass the responsibility of home ownership, such as maintenance and repair costs, onto the occupant without transferring any ownership rights. This means that the landlord could potentially lose that property to a mortgage foreclosure, tax foreclosure, or just decide not to honor the contract in which you enter in on if it's not in fact recorded. So be cautious of those opportunities. They're not always as good as they seem to appear to be. While you're shopping for an affordable home, you also want to be mindful of finding a safe and healthy home for you and your family to reside in. So make sure that the home that you choose has a safe and healthy environment, free of pests and contaminants, that it's dry, safe, and secure.
A credit report is a financial document that shows how you have paid your debt throughout history, your financial history. It contains installment debt, which would be a mortgage or a car note or a student loan. It also contains revolving debt. That would be credit cards, home equity loans, or any kind of line of credit. It has your personal information on it and your address, employers you've had. It has phone numbers on it and any inquiries of the lenders that have looked into your financial history. It's sort of a financial resume. There are 3 credit bureaus in which you can get your credit reports, and those are Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. There are several entities that may want to review your credit report. The first of which is lenders, to see if you are qualified to receive credit after you requested it. Another entity would be employers, potential employers, and your actual employer you have now may want to view your credit report to see if there's any fraud or any reasons why they shouldn't hire you in particular positions. The third entity that may want to review your credit report would be apartment complexes, to see what kind of tenant you may be according to how you've paid your bills in the past. Your credit score is important because it tells a lender or anyone who's using the credit score that you are a good credit risk, meaning you have paid your bills on time in the past, which indicates that there's a high probability you will pay your bills on time in the future, including whatever they extend to you. Credit scores have a range from 350 to 850, with 350 being the lowest and 850 being the highest. The average American is somewhere within 680 to 720. You can access your free credit report several ways. One way is through the website www.annualcreditreport.com, in which all consumers, American consumers, can get all three credit bureaus every 12 months for free, just so you can check your credit report to make sure that all the information on it is accurate. Another way you can get a free credit report is through creditkarma.com. A third way is if you've been denied for a loan, then you will receive a denial letter, and you use that information to contact the credit bureau that was used for your denial, and they will send you a free credit report. You cannot receive a credit score when you get it directly from the bureau from a denial. However, Credit Karma has a way to give you a credit score, and you can pay for your credit score through annualcreditreport.com. Neither one of those three ways of getting a credit score will be your FICO score. Sometimes there are items on your credit report that you do not recognize. When that happens, there are several ways that you can address that issue. The first way is when you pull your credit report up online, you can put through a dispute online. It is available through all three credit bureaus, the opportunity to dispute an item that you do not recognize. When you dispute an item, the credit reporting agency goes to the lender or the collector to get information on whether or not it belongs to you. If they do not get any information within 30 days, they will delete it from your credit report. If they do get information, they will relay that to you and it will stay on your credit report. Another way that you can deal with unrecognizable debt is sending a letter, a verification and or a validation letter to the collection agency. There's a process that they have to go through, 45 days to get back to you. If they do not get back to you with sufficient information according to the law, they will have to have the item removed from your credit report. There are several ways to lower your credit score. One surefire way to lower your credit score is by not paying your bill, or paying it and not paying it on time. Another way to lower your credit score will be getting a foreclosure or repossession or a collection or judgment added to your credit report. It will have an immediate devastating effect to your credit score. The main way to improve your credit score would be to pay your bills on time every month. Over time, your credit score will improve. Another way to improve your credit score is to come see the financial empowerment counselors at the Financial Empowerment Center, and we will show you ways to have the money available to pay down your debts as quickly as possible.
My name is Joshua Quartz. I first came upon the Financial Empowerment Center through Capital Area Community Services. It was a recommendation between myself and my case manager there, and about getting my finances in order, so that way I could move on with getting my own place and being able to just get my credit right. What made me really interested in financial empowerment was the fact that they could help me with banking. I was really afraid. A couple years prior, I had tried for a bank account and I wasn't able to get it. But through financial empowerment, they helped me to be able to get a savings and checking account. And then I had some other issues with my credit, medical bills and just things, and it was tens of thousands of dollars. And I mean, they've helped me like so much with challenging some of the things, and I mean, I've had 12 things deleted from my credit report. I'm almost at 600 now, and like I didn't even think that was possible. Like I just like saw this huge insurmountable mountain of debt, and my case manager at Financial Empowerment helped me to break it down and manageable chunks, and just, you know, one thing at a time. Just focus on these things first, and it's really paid off. It's way easier to tackle it when you can look at it objectively, and it's just not this huge thing. It's a bunch of little things that make up the big thing. Some of the techniques that we used were, one was the challenging. First we printed off a free credit report and got a list of everything that was on there, and then some of the things that looked to be duplicate, we challenged those, and that's how I got the 12 deleted. Some of the other things were just putting the stuff into perspective for me, that you have medical bills, but you have these other ones too that are more pressing. So like a consumer's bill that was on there, and then like an old phone bill. So these are the things that you take care of first, and the medical bills we'll be able to address at a later time. And through that understanding, that there's actually priorities within getting your finances in order. If you handle these ones first, it improves your credit better. So he was able to help me understand that there is a way of getting your credit score improved faster. Some of the things that I had to overcome to open up a bank account was, number one, the fear. Just the fear of it. And the support that you get from the support that I got from the Financial Empowerment Center has just it's been great. Like, that's really what I needed, was somebody in my corner, you know, like cheering me on, really, you know, giving me the hope that, hey, I'm here to help you get your stuff in order. And that's what I really needed the most. And then a clear, cut and dry, this is how you do it, and it worked. It really worked. I needed someone to show me how to do it, because I had no idea. You know, I just knew that credit was a thing that everybody looked at, and but I had no idea how to make it better. You know, and they helped me to understand how to make it better. And a couple of the other things that he did was make letters for me. My counselor's name's Jim. He's a great guy. Make letters for me, give me the envelopes, basically give me everything that I needed, and all I had to do was just like mail it out, really, and show up. It's relieving, you know. It helped me to feel better, like all the way around. Without the financial burden, I mean, life is good. Life is good. What I'd like to say to the people watching at home is the Financial Empowerment Center has helped me get a new look on life. It's helped me get a new look on life. And without the Financial Empowerment Center, I really don't know where I'd be today. Like, it's really helped me put things in perspective and be able to accomplish the goals that I have for myself.
Thanks for watching Money Power. I hope you learned something that gives you the power. You can do it. We can help.